and I'm here today joined by my own Tirumini Bishop Yoohanon Mar Chrysostom, who is the Bishop Emeritus of the Pathanamthitta Diocese. So, Kidava, welcome. Thank you again for agreeing to join. For those of you who might not be too familiar with the Malankara Catholic Church, we also have the same structure as well in terms of bishops in our church. And I wanted to have a quick time where we could talk with Christos and Kidava, especially on the topics that that will help our youth, especially here in the United States, have a little bit more of an understanding of what we have overcome in order to get to the current point that we have today, as well as maybe like a little final message at the end where we get to kind of hear about our Tirumini's thoughts, our bishop's thoughts on our youth, and maybe like a final message as well. For those of you who don't know Tirumini specifically, please, I encourage you guys, I implore you guys to check out a brief background about him. We'll leave a link down in the description as well for you guys to enjoy, get to know a little bit more about him. But absolutely, Tirumini, I just wanted to start off by asking you specifically, your experience in your history after reviewers have had a chance to read it and understand it. You've had a lot of history here in the United States as well, with your tireless work, especially in the Pennsylvania state as well, helping our Philadelphia church, but also across the United States as well. Could you touch a little bit about some of your experience and your moments here in the United States?
Well, before I start with my experience with the American Malankara Church, let me begin with my childhood and my youth age.
Absolutely.
I was born in Pathanamthitta, Kadammanetta, one of the 10 children of the family. We were 7 boys and 3 girls. We were brought up in a very Christian Catholic atmosphere. Our parents were very particular that we should bring up our Christian life, acquiring faith from the church and the elders, so that later on in our life, particularly in my life, we had a very successful Christian life. At the younger times, I started going to the church with the parents and the family members for the Holy Mass, Catechism, studying the Catechism, and for other spiritual exercises. They gave us the real opportunity to mingle with others and exercise our spiritual enrichment. That motivated me in such a way to build up or bring up our faith more stronger. The Catechism, of course, I studied. More than that, our family experience of sharing the Catholic faith, that helped me, initiated me to go for a spiritual life, like to become a priest, studying for priesthood. That from the beginning, when I was studying in the grade schools, and my parents, they initiated me and they allowed me in a sense to go to the church, to practice it, to assist the Mass. All kinds of these things helped me to slowly grow up in my Christian faith and love, and Christian faith and motivation. That was a great reason. At the end, when I passed the 10th grade, my thinking was to join to the seminary. But the family must have thought to send me to my elder brother, Mr. George, to go to Andamans, where he was working in the Secretary of State, to work with him and to support the family. But fortunately or unfortunately, I stayed back home and helped my father for a year in his business matters. After a year, he told me, son, if you want to join to the seminary, I don't prevent you. I am not an obstacle for you. If you want to join, you join with. But once you take the step, don't bring it back. Go ahead. So I joined to the seminary after a year, thinking and reflecting and taking the decision that I should join the seminary to study for priesthood. I didn't have any problem of seminary studies. It went on very well. They all loved me and I loved my colleagues. And we studied and prayed together in the seminary. After the 3 years of minor seminary, I was sent to Tiruchirappalli in Tamil Nadu for philosophy and theology. 3 plus 4, 7 years. 3 years philosophy.
Wow.
I started studying. The first year itself, I got sick. I could not eat any of that food of that place.
Yeah.
I had stomach problem. I returned to the mother diocese. They sent me back saying, you take medication or anything. If you get all right, you return, or you decide as yourself. But after all the medical checkup, I could understand that I am perfectly all right. Doctor said, you go back and continue. Most Reverend Benedict Mar Gregorius, the Romanian at that time, he said, John, you go back to the seminary and continue studies. When I went to the seminary, returned to the seminary, everybody was asking me, oh, John, you returned. We thought that you were out
Yeah.
because of your sickness. I said, nobody told me. It was a shock for me. But I have a very special devotion on that time onwards to the Blessed Mother, Velankani. Of course, you must be knowing the mother appeared to that place in Velankani.
Yes.
And she is the mother of health. I prayed. And when I got an opportunity next year to go for a pilgrimage, all the seminarians, I went with them. I took the decision to pray intensely for this intention. And I had a prayer, and that whole day I spent with them in the church, Velankani church. And I got a special blessing onwards, that time onwards. Returned home in the seminary, continues my studies. I didn't have any problem at all health-wise. I strongly believe that Mother, Blessed Mother, the Mother of Health, protected me to keep me safe to go with my studies and health and everything. I completed my philosophy 3 years and continued my theology for 4 years. No problem at all. And I studied. And later, at the end, I was ordained as priest. That is an experience for the people of that Pathanamthitta place, because so many youngsters from my diocese joined to the seminary one after another. They all left the seminary after some years for some reason or other. personal reason, not anything other than. So it was a challenge for me. One of the applicants told me, "Oh, Ramani, why do you want to go to the seminary? We are originally Orthodox. So we don't have that vocation to the priesthood in the Catholic Church. We cannot get married." And these are all the reasons that Pachan said. I said, no. I took it as a challenge. If others can do, why not I? I took the decision there. Somehow I will become a priest. And I am the first one in the Pathanamthitta church after 17 who have left the seminary. And I go ahead with my vocation.
And you became a priest?
And I become a priest after 4 plus 3, 7, plus minor seminary 3. 10 years.
Wow.
I was the first one who was ordained in Malankara by most Benedict Gregorius, Archbishop of TWT.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I think it's very important that you had mentioned, especially at the beginning, that Vilya Pachan had told you about the aspect of commitment, right? If you're doing this, you are taking this decision, that you have to join and you cannot step back. I think about it in my own way, and how my parents have raised me as well when I was going to college. And my parents said, if you're taking this decision, you have to do the same thing. And I think it's inspiring for our viewers as well to understand that just as they make their daily decisions as well, especially our priests and our bishops and our clergy, our nuns, do that same thing on a daily basis as well, to make that commitment to not just to God, but to their faithful, to their flock as well. So I thank you for sharing that early moments as well as we approach this conversation.
Brothers and sisters in Christ, it is my great joy to share with you my priestly experience in the great nation of United States of America. I came to this country in 1985, March 5, with an immigration visa. I was assigned to Washington, D.C. I came to New York first. 2 of our priests were there to receive me. Said, "John Kalur, today we are here in the airport to receive you. You have 100,000 cars are there to receive you to the church where you are going to stay." I said, 100,000? The heavy traffic in the evening. So much cars going in the front.
Absolutely.
And I am in the back coming slowly to the destination. And he was funny, joking. And I was assigned in Washington, D.C. And I started, it's a good experience for me because I didn't have much experience being with the Latin church celebrations. But the priests were so kind to teach me all this. And when we started the Malankara mission there, we had only 2 families.
Wow.
I started with 2 families. That was the mission church like you have in this place. But we did not go back. We went ahead. We go forward. And we could see the progress. Now almost 250 people coming to the church to attend the Holy Mass on Sundays. Sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes some people say, "Oh, I have a lot of work, this and that." The priest. One time, I worked 5 different jobs. I was a full-time chaplain of a hospital, DC General Hospital. And I was the chaplain of the Malankara Catholic Mission, North America, for all. At that time, I came to Houston, and I was the parish priest of the Malankara faithful in Greater Washington, and I was going around other places to see the growth of mission, to support them, to make them strong in their Malankara motivation, because they could need only very few people, and of course life-threatened experience I had. One time people attacked me. At a certain point, they put a gun on my body and asked me to hands up, and took off my wallet and money, everything. Thank God that they left me alone. They left me alone. They did not do anything because of my parents' prayers. That I want to share with you, my vocation to the priesthood was very strong.
Absolutely.
I didn't have any shake. Should not become like that. I didn't have any sort of that. I was strong to leave the mother country, India, to come here to a lonely place where there is nobody from my family. Nobody. Now you are all hundreds of sons, daughters, and nephews, nieces, all great nephews, nieces, all you are all here. At that time there was nobody. The whole country was my home. And all people supported me. To sometime most of the houses I lived here in the places. Wherever I go for ministry, I stay with the people, share with them, eat the food what they give, pray with them, and teach them the Catholic faith, and especially to the young children. And children, not catechism, everything, good manners. How do you behave with the community? How do you behave with the church when you come to the church? How do you behave with the elders? These kind of things I taught them, gave instructions, not all on a sudden, occasionally, once in a while. That encouraged our people like Roy.
In Atlanta.
And they were all supporters, and growing people, 12, 13, 14. And they all come. And Corinth Joyce, Sibi, one who is taking care of this catechism.
Catechism in Houston,
Houston. They were all young, small
kids.
And they listened me, and now I can say, they are in good shape, and they are moving to the right path.
Absolutely.
And that way, that encouraged me. When I was moved from Washington after 10 years, I returned home. My bishop, Mar Gregorius, called me back to India to help me closely to become, I don't know what, vicar general or what. I went over there. I found that he was sick. He was terribly sick with cancer. So I served him with there. I didn't want to come back. After his demise, the next bishop asked me to return to this place, and I came to Philadelphia for 5 years. I started doing my ministry. I started that parish also while I was in Houston. Sorry, in Washington. So they all knew me very well, who is Kalurachan and what I am doing, what I am not doing, and so on. So after 4 or 5 years, good afternoon, I got a call from Saint John Paul II. Through his agent in Washington, D.C., the nuncio. He called me and asked, John, Holy Father wants you to make a bishop in Marthandom. Are you ready? I was shocked. I didn't know how to answer. I said, I didn't know anything about that. And I will think it and let you know tomorrow. Usually, once Holy Father appoints somebody for that, that is appointed. There is no question of saying no. The next day, I went to the nuncio's house from Philadelphia to Washington, D.C. I said, I obey. I obey.
And that is how you became
A bishop.
Wow.
And after a couple of weeks, after Holy Week, I remember that I went to India. There are some people, some kind of ill feeling, or some people because of the
groups and politics,
groups, politics and this.
Yes.
And that. But most of the people, they like it. And I started working. And the people supported me. After 1 or 2 years, these people all started coming to me. Ravi, you should help us to bring up, please do bring up our community. We have nothing here in Marthandom. It was true. They didn't have anything. They were most of them were converted to the Catholic faith. And I worked hard. At that time, this kind of life in America was a preparation to get some resources from our dioceses or American dioceses and take them back to Marthandom.
To grow our churches.
To build up that church to this level. Now they have got everything.
By the grace of God.
By the grace of God. Now, after 12 years, even they do have the engineering college, arts and science college, training college, this and that, all English medium schools and churches, for 48 churches. There was an opportunity came whether I should want to go to Pathanamthitta, which is going to be bifurcated. I said, I consulted with somebody. Said, it's better that you go now. You go to your family. So that's the reason I decided to return to Pathanamthitta. Only churches, nothing else. And all the churches.
Yeah, just churches there,
And I had to start from grassroots.
From the beginning.
From the beginning,
yes.
There also. I still did it. It was good experience. And now they have got everything. It is a very balanced church. And my successor, when I retired 6 years back, I entrusted this one to Most Reverend Mar Chrysostom. He is from the native of that place. He is taking care of very well. So I am relieved from all these responsibilities and get relaxed. And once in a while I come and see my friends and go back. And this time I am here for the wedding of my great nephew. And that is done. And I am going back to India today with great heart, full of heart, joy and happiness. And I thank everybody for all doing my stay very comfortable and relaxing. God bless you and your families, your children, and your great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren, and centuries. Thank you.
Thank you, Thidomini. I think you shared something really beautiful, especially in regards to your journey here in the United States, but at the same time, what had brought you back to India and the work, all of the work that you had to do, not just here, but back in India and everywhere in between, and the many relationships. I feel like we can talk more and more about all the different stories and the experiences, but just having this moment right here where we're able to do this, I appreciate you taking some time to talk about that. So thank you. I wanted to ask you for one more thing before we all go, and this is especially in regards to specifically what's been going on with our youth here in the United States. And as we're growing as a church, I especially want to take this time where we could, kind of touch base and talk a little bit more on our early church history, not just in India, but here in the United States. And I feel like we were able to share a little bit of good stories about your experiences. But I wanted to give you a little bit of time to kind of talk about maybe like a final message that you wanted to share with our listeners and our viewers. So do you have a final message that you'd want to really talk about in terms of our youth, especially in the United States?
Well, it's a great opportunity for me to say something to my youngsters of the church here. Most of you are born or raised after I left this place 26 years ago, since I became the bishop. And your parents and grandparents were all youngsters at that time when I was ministering the Malankara Church in this country. They went through so many difficulties and problems, languages and culture and this and that, but they overcame all that. When the second generation came to, they started studying, they started speaking in the English or vernacular of this nation. The third generation, totally a different American culture you are bringing up your families. I am very much proud of you when you are in a place. In Malayalam there is a saying, പാമ്പിനെ തിന്നുന്ന നാട്ടിൽ ചെന്നാൽ അതിൻ്റെ നടുനുറുക്ക് തിന്നണം. പാമ്പിനെ ആരും കഴിക്കാറില്ല. Nobody eats palm. But when you are in a place to eat where they eat the snake, you must be able to eat the front portion of that. That means you should accommodate your values and culture in the place where you are. And I am really happy our youngsters, they get involved in all our social activities. These days, of course, I came for my what's his name?
Grandnephews,
Nicholas' wedding. And before that, I spent some little time here and there.
Yeah.
But I saw youngsters. You are so energetic, very enthusiastic, supporting each other, helping each other, and doing this and that. That should not be gone away. That you have to build up and pass on to the next generation. Otherwise, it will be gone. Our culture will be gone. There is no need of church here, no need of schools, no need of anything. It should be passed on to the next. And that I could notice that you are doing that. That's a great, appreciable change in our youngsters. Of course, you have your own culture, your own way of life, which I don't have. I cannot have, because I am born and raised in India. But I came here, I have got all these kind of things. I can understand, I can absorb, but I cannot do the whole thing. But you are doing that. You have to live in this culture, and you have to adjust that. We cannot say one culture is bad and the other culture is good.
Yeah.
There is some value in each culture.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that we have to absorb it and bring it up, give to the next generation. And when the next generation, when you have your child, you have to tell the child, Mane, this is good. This is good. You should bring it up. This is not good. Not to be according to our ancestors' nature. We should give it up.
Absolutely.
That we must be able to, that our MCYM members, you have to have that spirit of maintaining our culture at the same time the culture of this country. There should not be any confusion, and you have to form a different culture. There are some people in this country from different countries, but they absorb the good things of this country and build it up. And I really appreciate. And you all do the same thing. You all do the same thing. Our church is a good venue to bring all your talents and develop it according to the ability.
Absolutely.
God bless you, and I will be with you and pray for you and for your good future.
Thank you. I think I really appreciated those words that you've shared with our fellow youth and to all of our listeners and people watching, especially in terms of, we have to uplift each other. We are a wonderful, and at this point still small, but ever-growing community that continues to support each other, and we need to continue to show that support and love to each other. That is the only way that we can especially grow, not just in size, but in love and in spirit and in faith. I wanted to, thank everyone for listening or watching, and especially I also want to thank everyone who has been a part of Tidimini's life. I'm blessed to be in your presence now, and I think about all of the times that he's, all the experiences that he's faced, all the challenges, and all the support that he's received from many people throughout the years. If you ever shared a meal with him, if you've housed him, if you've shown him love, thank you from the bottom of my heart, from my family. Thank you. Thank you, Pilar, for this.
Thank you.
Perfect.
You got it.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning into this episode of Tea with Thomas. We hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as we did. Don't forget to like this episode and subscribe to our channel for more conversations. If you'd like to help support us, check out the links in the description.
If you have any questions, comments, or topics you would like for us to talk about, please feel free to put them in the comments below. We would love to hear from you guys.
And for more behind the scenes content and updates, follow us on our Instagram at Tea with Thomas. Until next episode, stay curious, stay blessed, and let's continue to share our Catholic voices and ideas to this world. May the good Lord bless you all. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.